Welcome to Deep River Farm, folks. I appreciate you joining me today. Well, we ain't but about 30 days from tax time. The most hated day in the world for Americans that work for a living and that's in the middle class, because there's nothing but a scam going on. That's right, it's a tax scam. You can't deduct nothing now on your taxes for itemizing unless you got about $30,000 worth of itemizing to do. That's what I was told, and that's absolutely terrible. You know, you pay all these taxes, and you pay taxes, and you pay taxes, and you pay some more taxes, and then you pay taxes on top of those taxes. It's a crying shame when you get up and go to work every day. You get your paycheck, they've done ripped out about 33% of your earnings for taxes. Federal, state, Medicare, FICA, whatever you want to call it, Social Security. And I tell you what burns me up is to hear some of these congressmen and senators call it an entitlement. Well, that's not what it is. We've contributed to it for 40 years. It's not an entitlement, it's our money. Don't forget it. But, you know, they take all these taxes out of your checks and you save that money. And when you save it, you get taxed for saving your money. You get taxed for doing what you need to do to start with, and that's save money. Then you take that saved money and you go buy you a vehicle or something. Well, then you pay sales tax on that vehicle. Then you got to pay tags and fees and stuff for your car and insurance. Then they turn around and a year later charge you property tax on said vehicle you've done paid sales tax on, and that goes year after year after year. Then you take that money you earned in your check and you go buy you something to eat. Well, then you pay a food tax on top of you earning your income tax. They've already taxed you, and then you know, you might decide you want to take your wife or girlfriend out to eat, and you got to pay another tax on that. You go travel somewhere. Well, as soon as you get there, you get to the hotel, you pay a sales tax, and then you wind up paying a convenience tax and a tax for using your credit card, convenience tax, and all these taxes and fees that ain't doing nothing but just browbeating the people down. And they wonder why so many people are having to rely on food stamps and Medicaid and things like that. It's because the tax code works totally against people. It's nothing but a scam and an embezzlement set up for these people to get rich. And then when finally we get a president in there that wants to do something about it, we don't hear nothing but screaming and kicking and hollering out of the other side. Well, come to find out, the other side's been ripping people off for years, stealing money out of the taxpayers' taxes they've been paying and funneling it through different ways, and then turn right around and getting their family jobs and things for little cushy positions that really don't exist, in the tune of $250,000 a year, $1 million a year, sending ridiculous amounts of money to these colleges for research for really stupid stuff that really don't make a hill of beans, and giving money to these countries that hate us. Meanwhile, we're here back at work, and you don't go to work to make money no more. All you're doing is paying taxes. There's no telling what percentage of that money winds up being taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed. And then, when you kick the bucket, a lot of these states has got a 40% inheritance tax, a death tax you might want to call it, whatever it is. You get penalized for everything you do trying to better yourself. Well, there needs to be a tax reform. They got this thing going on with tariffs. They call them reciprocal tariffs, like Canada's charging us X amount of percent to bring in whatever it is. And then we turning around now and tariffing them back, and they don't like it. Well, there needs to be not only a trade reform, but there needs to be a tax reform. It needs to go to a fair tax where you pay a certain amount and that's it. You know, the tax system wasn't even set up to do what it's doing to people prior to 1913. And they started instituting, and every time you turn around, it's another tax and another tax and another tax. Good gracious, you ought to see your back of your phone bill. Look at all these fees they've made up, regulatory fees and universal fees. And I mean, it's just a fee after a tax after a fee. And I'm fed up with it, folks. I don't know about you. I might be preaching to the choir, but I just got to let off a little steam about these taxes. I'm just about taxed to death and just tired of it. Just absolutely tired of it. I don't know what we need to do, if we need to all just quit paying our taxes, and that way all these crooked politicians and all these agencies will just fold up and we can start over. But I'm just about fed up with all this taxing and stuff like that. So anyway, I've got my rant over. I appreciate you listening to it today here on Deep River Farm, and I'm expecting there's going to be a lot of comments about this because everybody is fed up with all your taxes just being taxed to death, tax over tax over tax after tax. Prime example, my parents built their house, and since they built that house, 1963, they have paid more in property taxes than they paid to build the house. And they've paid that again in homeowners insurance over top of what it costs to build the house for the past 40. They've probably doubled what the house cost in taxes and insurance. And there ain't no sense in that. And then they turning around and taxing their Social Security that the government's had in their hands for 40 or 50 years, drawing interest on that money, misappropriating it, and sending it out to who knows what to do whatever and pad somebody's pocket somewhere through some three-letter agency, and then turn around and try to tax the senior citizens for it when they that's all they might have. Folks, we got to do something about this. I appreciate you listening to my rant. Leave in the comments if you got a suggestion on what we need to do. And I'm just kind of fired up today about all this, and just makes me mad to even pay a tax. You know, highway taxes. And shoot, now they've even started charging for it to rain on you. You got a rain tax in a lot of places. And then you got all these permits. See, I'm getting wound up again. Now you get all these permits. You got to have a building permit, a septic tank permit. You got to have a permit to access your driveway into the road. You know, building permits, just all kinds of permits. Every time you turn around, it's a permit for this and a fee for that. And, you know, a usage fee, a convenience fee, and just all sorts of junk. And people's tired of paying this garbage. I wish we'd go to a consumption tax or something and just be done with it. And if you was had sense enough to raise your own food and things like that, there you go. You just cut back on your consumption taxes. You save money. But getting penalized for trying to get ahead is not the right way to go. And not being able to utilize all these tax loopholes that the rich people's able to utilize is nowhere near fair. And they say, well, we're the ones that operate in all the businesses. Well, if I had what I pay in tax, I could do my own business, couldn't you? Thank you for joining me today. I've had my rant. Thanks for watching.